Sarah was a little girl, a girl like all the others. She loved to sing and play and dance with her sisters and her brothers. She would be a mom someday with a home and a loving man. But other people somewhere else had a different plan. Some other people somewhere else had a different plan. Oh, no one know, no one know, no one is illegal. No one know, no one know, persone is illegal. No one know, no one know, no one is illegal. Niemand, niemand, niemand is illegal.
Hi, welcome back to Good Neighbors Getting It Done in Western New York. I'm Kathleen King. In this episode, I'm going to take you around a bit of the New York 23rd Congressional District for a few events that have happened there. The first one was a protest outside of the Allegany Detention Center / prison for a family that was taken by ICE from Clyde, New York. The son and husband were taken to Batavia, and the wife, Elena, was brought to the Allegany Detention Center. The protest was organized by the Cattaraugus Allegheny Liberation Coalition, and you're going to hear Perry, who was the lead organizer, speak. What you don't see is that there is a sheriff's car at the end of the line that came by, made himself quite visible, and then parked right at the end of the protest line.
We are here today as members of the Cattaraugus Allegheny Liberation Collective. We are joined by allies and community members from across the area to demand the immediate release of Elena. And for ICE to leave our communities now, to disband and to never come back. I'd like to speak directly to you, Elena. If you cannot hear these words, may they still find their way to your heart. We want to ensure that you know that you are not forgotten. And there are people who are working all hours of the day and night to win your freedom and the freedom of Luis and Raimundo. Now, we have some words we would like to say to you, Sheriff Cicerello, and all of your accomplices in the bloated and deplorable prison system in our county, across New York State, and across this country. Shame on you! Shame on you for the terror you are subjecting our families, friends, and communities to! What would you feel like if that woman you are currently holding captive was your daughter, your sister, your mother? What would you do to win her freedom?
Free Elena!
Free Elena!
Free Elena! Free Elena!
We know what we would do because we are doing it right now. And we will continue. We will continue disturbing your peace, organizing together and building strong communities who are capable of winning the liberation of all people, beginning today with the immediate release of Elena, Luis, and Raimundo, and the eviction of ICE from our streets, its immediate disbandment and justice for all of those subjected to violence and those responsible for these monstrous actions. Set her free! Set her free! Set her free! Set her free!
So now we're headed to Jamestown, where we're going to hear Senator Schumer speak about the Cassadaga Job Corps. There is a Senate bill that came out of committee to support Job Corps, and he was hoping that people will write their congressmen and encourage their congressmen to get the bill passed through Congress as well. It is a bipartisan bill coming out of the Senate committee, and he was trying to address the need for Job Corps across the nation, but in particular how well the Job Corps in the rural areas of New York performs.
Okay, so it's one of the most successful bang for the buck programs we have. And the money, the rewards we get back every year when someone graduates from the Job Corps, it's not just a one-time deal. Every year they're in a good job, getting a salary, maybe creating a family, starting a family, helping a family, using that money that they get in the good paying jobs to go to our stores and our restaurants and everything else. Here is the good news. I think we can get some great bipartisan support in the Senate to keep the funding going starting October 1st. And if we keep it going October 1st, there's enough funding to keep the place open until then, which is just, a month and a half away. And that passed, good news, with my pushing, it passed the Senate Education and Labor Committee with a bipartisan vote. Both Democrats and Republicans supported it. And now we're awaiting legislation on the floor. But the House has not. So I'm urging you to talk to your local congressman. I get along with him fine. But he's got down, folks, down. But you've got to let him know. I would ask everyone here to call his office and say how important this is. To get your families to call his office and say how important it is. To get your friends to call his office and say how important it is. Keep the Job Corps. Just keep the Job Corps. Fund it. We don't even need more funding than last year, as much as I'd like that. Just fund it at the same level we had. Tell all of our Republican congresspeople throughout the country, this is not the time to kick thousands of New Yorkers who want to work out and pull the rug out from under them. That's a very bad thing. So as I said, we've had bipartisan success in the Senate. The current version of the Senate Appropriations Bill protects the Job Corps funding and puts guardrails in so they can't do it again. Trump can't shut it down in the middle after we fund it. Okay, any other questions? Yes.
Have you been able to talk to Congressman Langworthy at all to make your point on this?
I've talked to him about getting a good budget overall, which includes the Job Corps. I do intend, when we come back, to tell him of my experience here and tell him how much we need it. And frankly, I want to ask him to come visit and see just what I saw. It's not Democrat or Republican, Mr. Bland. You know that. And I didn't mean to be. I know you know that. But it's so important. And again, I think the people way up in the top of the administration don't know how good this is. They don't know the good it does. Okay, anyone else?
Just a couple off topics. Do you have any thoughts on the DC police situation?
Yeah, look, I think it's an overreach. And frankly, I think the president's trying to distract from the real issues, the high costs that we're having in so many different areas. The healthcare cuts that he's making, which we're not talking about that here today, but I have talked about that across the state. And Epstein, he wants to avoid that, so I think it's a distraction.
And then, is there anything new or any updates with the redistricting fight?
Look, Texas shouldn't do what they've done. We have norms in this country, and we redistrict every 10 years, and it's better when it's bipartisan. Sometimes it's not. But I hope that the more sane people in the Texas legislature would realize this is just so wrong for the future of the country.
Thank you.
You're probably wondering why I included that clip at all. Job Corps is important, and it was a little bit of a follow-up to the previous podcast, but the visit from Senator Schumer was not important. Not at all. And he looked a bit foolish, kind of like a tourist rather than a leader. I wanted to scream when he said, we have norms in this country. No, we do not. We have not had norms in this country for a very long time, and wishing that we did is not going to make it so. The Democratic Party has been out of touch. It keeps trying to do things the same way it has always done things. and it has been hemorrhaging voters for a very long time. They are the party that we have to deal with, like it or not. They're the only ones that are going to help take down this fascist government and get us our democracy back. So we need to help them, and that's why I left this in. One of the things that the Democratic Party is not doing is using the resistance groups. Some of the challengers to incumbents have been doing that, but the party as a whole has not been. They've almost been ignoring us. And I'm really certain that that is to their detriment, because we are the ones that are involved. We are the ones that are going to get out the vote. If they help us, we can definitely help them. So this is my ask. My ask is that you contact people at the DNC, Ken Martin, the New York Democratic Committee, which would be Jay Jacobs, as well as the governor, our senators, and the nearest congressman, and tell them that you need the Democratic Party to work better and that you want to help. I'd like you to think of what sort of message you would like them to spread. The message that, well, we're better than the other guys is no message at all. But we need something similar to what MAGA has. Mostly that's just hate the other guy. But a message that is very clear and that is defined in a symbol that we can use. I would like you to tell those leaders how our resistance groups, how your resistance group can help the Democratic Party, how it can help turn out the vote in the future. For instance, I think about the DNC giving local groups the tools and the education, as well as the pamphlets and the palm cards and fact sheets that are needed to go out and canvass about policy. I'm not talking about individual races at this point in time, but about policy and what the current situation with the budget is actually going to do. Just having ads is not going to help that much. People do not believe what they read anymore, but they do believe you when you shake their hands and look them in the eye. That does get people to think. And I think another idea is that they need to get some inspiration back to these resistance groups. It would be great if we could have some inspirational leaders come to these rural counties. That would be terrific. So overall, the big ask is to have you contact the DNC and the New York Dems and ask them, encourage them to pay attention to what the resistance leaders and groups have to say. We know our communities. We can help them, but they need to help us. So that's my big ask. And I hope it didn't sound too much like a lecture. But if you can, that would be great. And if you do write, please copy me, because I could use some inspiration as well. I hope you enjoyed the podcast.